Hi, I'm Tendor. I'm the Executive Director of Students for Free Tibet.
And I'm Laden, and I'm the director of Tibet Action Institute, a project of Students for a Free Tibet.
So, Sunday is Losar, or the Tibetan New Year, and as you know, there are many different ways to observe Losar and this tradition that goes back hundreds and thousands years. And we believe that the most important way to observe Losar is by taking action for Tibet right now. And in terms of taking action, on the day of Losar, we request everybody to make a pledge to take action for Tibet, to do something every week, and if possible every day, to do something, every week or every day that will promote Tibetan identity, promote Tibetan culture, promote human rights and freedom in Tibet, and at the same time undermine the imperialist and colonial structure of the Chinese government. And as for myself, I'm going to make this pledge starting Losar, that every week on Wednesday, I'm going to pull these stories and anecdotes and quotes from other movements around the world, like the Indian freedom struggle led by Gandhi, or the civil rights movement in America, or the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, and looking at these different stories, pull out something that'll be useful for the Tibetan people, because I think these movements have so much insight and advice to offer us. And we all understand that Tibetans have the courage and the dedication and the will. At the same time, what we need more of is lessons and the political strategy and the thinking behind these movements, so we can make our movement more effective.
Great. I also have made a Losar pledge. It's one that means a lot to me. I know it's one that probably a lot of young Tibetans around the world, wherever you may have been raised, can relate to. I grew up not speaking Tibetan. I grew up in an English-speaking community, and yeah, with no Tibetans really around me except my family, my father, who was working all the time. And so now I'm an adult, and it's up to me to maintain my Tibetan identity on my own. And obviously what I've learned in all these years I've worked for the Tibetan movement and for the Tibetan struggle is that our language is something that sets us apart, that makes us unique. There's so much rich cultural history, our religion, everything, our identity, our connection to each other around the world. In some way, it all comes back to language. And I have committed myself to trying to learn Tibetan, even though it is I find it very difficult. I have made progress, and I feel like there's a lot of young Tibetans who feel the same way out there. They want to do this. They want to start to learn, no matter what age. Actually, I think we can do this, and so I'm going to try and lead by example here. I've made a pledge to study Tibetan, practice my Tibetan, work on it every day. I'm pledging to try for an hour every day, whether it's reading, writing, or just practicing my comprehension. Watching a show like Kunling, VOA television. So that's my Losar pledge. And I just want to point to the fact that inside Tibet right now, this Losar 2137, Year of the Iron Tiger, Tibetans are doing a number of things to observe Losar. Some Tibetans are, like last year, refusing to celebrate, refusing to do anything but mourn, because the situation on the ground remains so grim, and Tibetans are suffering still so much. And many Tibetans have been given harsh prison sentences over the last year. Many Tibetans still, again, have protested, have disappeared, have been imprisoned, tortured. So this is the way that they've chosen to act for Tibet, for our nation, this Losar. Other Tibetans in other parts of Tibet and in the world have also, have decided to use Losar in a sort of different way, but again, very strongly making a political statement. They're sort of using this moment to just own Losar and to say, I am Tibetan, we are strong, and we are going to practice our religion and our culture and engage in our cultural traditions, because this is what makes us unique and different, and this will enhance us, empower us from within. Right. And so that's what other people are doing, and we think, whatever people are doing, one thing is clear: we are united in committing ourselves to whatever we're doing at Losar for our nation, you know. And I think whether it's overtly political or whether it's more sort of subtle and cultural, all of these things are important, and we are so encouraged that, you know, 6 decades, really 5 decades of occupation, 6 decades since the Chinese came into Tibet, and Tibetans are strong, and I'd say getting stronger.
I totally agree with all that, and in fact, many people have already started making these pledges, and it's been really inspiring to hear about all sorts of Tibetans living in all parts of the world, whether India, Europe, Canada, America, even inside Tibet. And we have set up this web page. You can go to studentsforfreetibet.org/pledge and write your own pledge on that website, on that web page. And you will notice that many people are pledging to do something special or something different on Wednesday. And the reason people have chosen Wednesday is because Wednesday is what Tibetans often call Lakar, and Lakar means White Wednesday, because Wednesday is the day when His Holiness was born, and it's a very special day for all Tibetans everywhere. And therefore Lakar has become this sort of growing movement inside Tibet and all over the world, on which day, you know, this is the day when Tibetans do something special for our own country, take action and make this commitment. So we invite you to come to this web page and make a pledge. 벽에 나라 특징이 나타나다 학가르기 탐자디 인지민지미 상메 렌로 치스체 후다바다 갈레자로 치스웨니 아니 게르기 땅가란로 차샤나 탐자디 간조 탑주 셴바다만다 망부진에 믹벨랑체 아니 롭종 카리 장에도 디게디 아니 뷰이나라 추규르 아니 타자강라 타메이네레 radio 강네 라베이네레 벼반냠도랑 간조 파수 삼주 젤랭기 토네 탑주 셴바네 강마마 장투베기 베존지치에 탑셰슈웨니 아니 뷰이낭로 따탄다 벽에 잡에 걸송장아서 상맥이 후다바다 체인이 탄다 담자디 렌사디 타겟 가장 나가라는 때에 어디 가래 레로 치스슈에
로살라 고츠네가 니마닥바 벽이다 벽에 장기
배우도